I'm looking at the sky,
Drinking,
and I all of a sudden I see, I look up and I see this little starlight, traveling from west to east, right? So I'm saying to myself, wow, what the hell is that? Most people would say that's a satellite. I know it's not a satellite. There's no such thing as satellites. And I'm watching this thing, and then all of a sudden I see another one, and then behind it, like it was actually this like and then there was another one, and then another one, and like they were totally symmetrically separated, and they were traveling at the same speed, right? And then I was kept watching in the west, and there's like a shitload of them coming, all in a straight line, one after another, and I was like, what the hell is that?
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
This is Kyle. Kyle doesn't like junk food. Kyle doesn't do drugs. Kyle likes to work out. Do some good shit.
And we're back for another installment of, what show is this? Iron Rage.
Oh, that's right.
All the way from Rome, Italy. Lee Priest in bed. Why are you laying in bed? I know you don't sleep when you go away. So is this like comfort?
I just thought I'd see what it's like, because I went to bed last night at 1:30 in the morning, and I fell asleep. I thought, it must be time to get up, and it was only 3:00.
Don't you love that when you get up to have to go to the bathroom and you think like you only have like an hour left to sleep, and it's really like you really have like 8 hours left to sleep or 6 hours left to sleep? I'm like,
well, I gotta get up tomorrow early, because it's like a 4-hour drive back to Bologna, and then 7 hours to Dubai flight, then 14 hours to Australia, and if hopefully the rental car company's still open, I've got a 2.5-hour drive home.
Hold on, so you got to fly from Italy to Dubai first and then go to Australia?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then drive home. So if my calculation's right, I should be home January 2nd, 2024.
What? You should just have spent a couple days in Dubai while you're at it, man.
I know. I should have stopped there for the muscle show. Had it been a week earlier.
Or not even the muscle. You should just go there and hang out with who's there? Andrew Jack lives there. And I'm sure Bader would give you the royal treatment there at the Oxygen Gym.
I know. I've been chatting I thought I'd go to bed early, but then I started sending Jimmy photos of the Vatican and Rome, and we got talking about it. And we're just looking at the photos, because some of the ceiling, it's where, or Jimmy will explain it to you when he sees it, but it's like, it looks like you could grab it, but the ceiling's actually flat, but it's been painted with shadows, and it looks like sculptures.
You're talking about the Sistine Chapel that Michelangelo did?
That one too, but there's other parts of there. Yeah. It's almost like when you walk into the place and you see it. I'm sure those people have been there and seen it, but it almost doesn't look real. Like you think you've been to a museum and seen a museum, but when you walk in there in the Vatican, it's like, holy fuck.
My father had gone there because he's an artist and everything like that. And he said that the Sistine Chapel is the most unbelievable thing of all time, because when you think about how it was painted, they didn't have like lifts. Michelangelo was like on a ladder on his back for like.
And it showed you like how they had the stairs. And I think towards the end, they even said he broke his leg and he had to still paint it with the broken leg.
Oh, he did? I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's like, and then just even like the other different sculptures and art, and like some of the ceilings in other parts of the Vatican, you think it's painting, but it's like little glass mosaic stuck everywhere. That
it's really unbelievable when you think about it.
looking at it, some of it looks like you're on a movie set because it doesn't look real. And like I said, it's almost like when I went to the
This is Sistine Chapel, yeah.
When it's almost like when I was younger and they said, let's go to the Grand Canyon. I'm like, who wants to see a fucking hole in the ground? But you know, when you stand and you're like, oh, that's fucking, yeah, like as soon as you walk through the doors going into the parts of the Vatican, you're looking and you're like, it doesn't look real. Then I went downstairs to the vault area where St. Peter was, he's got his crypt down there, you know, the one that was crucified upside down.
How was that? Is that pretty cool? I didn't know they let people go down there.
Look at me, I got my pillow. I'm all pillowed in. It's like I'm doing an ad for my pillow.
Hold on, let me pull up my picture of the Vatican here so people know what you're talking about. There it is.
I should have sent you a whole heap.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get any text from you. Only Jimmy got the text from you. So.
Well,
is that what it looked like to you?
Some parts of the ceilings there, like I said, where you think it's painting, but it's mosaic. And then there's other ones where you think it's sculptures,
right?
But it's paintings, but it's been painted with shadows and the way it's done. It looks like it's 3D coming off the roof.
I think it's safe to say that Italians probably have the most talent for painting and sculptures and stuff like that. I don't know why, but it seems like
I laugh there when you go, like, you go somewhere in New York or around the cities, they go, oh, look at the architecture of this building, and it's just a square building with fucking glass windows. Right. And then you go down and see parts of, like when I went to the Colosseum, and then you go on around there in those archways at Titus, or not Craig Titus, but Titus the other one. It's like different stuff like that. You're like, my God. Like,
well, when I would go into the city as a kid, and if my grandfather ever came with us, my father's father, he would be pointing out, not obviously there weren't new buildings then. That's when he would point out all the brick buildings, and he would say, we did that one, I did that one, I did that one, I did that one. I'm like, what? The architecture was unbelievable. And how complicated they were. I don't even know how they even figured out how to put the bricks in the formation that they did.
Some of the I have to show you the photos, but some of the walkways where you come out of the Colosseum and you go around the back where the emperors and that walk through, they're like 40 foot high, and they got all those tiles into the roofs and shit. You're thinking, how the fuck are they still up there? It's been like 2,000 years, and
that tells you how good they were. They're putting the stuff up there,
Yeah. Lady who was with us, I think it was the cousin of the promoter or something, but she was telling us that she used to do archaeology, and she's dug up a few things back in the day, but now she does tours, and even though she says the glue and stuff that they use for the mosaic stuff, they can't even really work out what the glue was made from.
They don't even know what it was made from. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's like,
that's insane when you think about it, right? They were that advanced.
Inside of some of the Sistine Chapel too, it's done, if you could see it, in the shape of a cross, and then there's this one glass window where you think it's lit up, but it's actually that fine glass where the sun's behind it. It looks like it's illuminated.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I'd say it's one of those things you think, you don't really want to see it, but then when you do see it, you think, wow, you're glad you actually went to see it. And then, like, standing in the Colosseum, you think, now imagine back this in the day when it was full of gladiators and wild, and they would flood it and put the ships in there.
It's crazy, right?
Oh, I sent Jimmy a photo. I sent it to you too. Behind part of the wall, there's where they actually cremated Julius Caesar, or parts of him that they had here.
Oh, really? They still have the same. What is it, like sanctioned off, like roped off, or something like that, like an area?
Thing there, but they got people have put flowers there, and I think people throw coins there and stuff. So, but just like almost looks like a dirt mound behind this brick wall where they.
How was the St. Peter's Square? I heard that's pretty amazing too.
Yes, it was very good, very good. And then you see the actual thing where the Pope. And I didn't realize too that that chimney that they wait for the smoke to come out of.
Oh, for when they elect a new Pope, you mean?
Yeah, it's not really a chimney that's there. It's like a chimney that they put there. It's like almost like a little
It has a name. I can't remember. I remember when I was reading that story, Angels and Demons, by the guy who wrote the Da Vinci Code. What's his?
Yeah, yeah, but you think it would be like a chimney that's always there, but it's like they just put it there and light the fire in there, and the smoke comes out. So it's not a permanent chimney. It's just like we put it there and off we go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It's hundreds of years of ritual. Look, it's really an ancient city if you think about it, right? I mean, that's why I think why people are so amazed by it when they go there, because it's you're looking back in time almost.
Really. And like I said, once you go outside the Vatican City itself, where there's some of the old Roman Colosseum buildings and there's like some of the older ones built in with the newer buildings and shit like that. Sort of.
Does that look weird? Yeah, that must look weird. I bet.
Where's Jimmy?
You know him. He's always got some problems.
He said he was going to the toilet. He had COVID, didn't he?
He did have COVID, yeah. So we have to give him a pass on his complaining, because he showed me the positive test, assuming it was his.
He's pregnant.
He said the positive COVID test. He said he went back. He was back in the hospital though. He told me yesterday.
Yeah, because I said to him, "How were you going this morning?" He said he was coughing his guts up again, and he was like back at the hospital. So
I told him, I said, "Jimmy, you're good." When he originally told me that he had tested positive, I said it's going to get worse before it gets better, and then it'll get better. I said when you're at your absolute worst, then it'll start getting better from there. But I don't even hear you coughing. I said, so you're probably going to get worse. And he's like, I think I'm over it. I said, I don't think you're over it yet.
I feel I've been walking around Rome and in there with all these people, and I'm thinking, I get on the plane and they get sick on the plane. How if I can?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you don't get sick after every place you've been, then maybe there is no disease there. But you're not really like a personal space person, so
I got him a really nice. I was over there. I showed him. He's all happy. I got him a really nice cross with one of the saints on it from the Vatican.
Oh, he's gonna love that. He'll love it. Did you get me a chalice to go with this chalice?
Actually, hey, I went to a store when I was in. Where was I? Wherever I had the contest. I went to the castle there.
In San Marino?
Yeah, the castle on the hill. And the stores there, I mean, they had like all the gladiator helmets, like hundreds of different gladiator swords.
Did you go up that big hill? Is that where you went to get to that store?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there. I went there with Rich Gaspari when I was there.
It's like 3 castles up on top.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's a pretty cool area there. Yeah, we went up there with Gaspari and I went there.
But there's like a store there, and it sells like those pellet guns, and it actually looks like guns, and then like the Crusaders store. Like I got the new ring.
I wanted to buy everything in that store, but I'm like, how am I going to get it? Oh, you bought a ring. That's cool. Yeah. I was like, how am I going to get this shit back? I'm like, forget it. I'm not buying it. But I like that. Cool. Yeah, it was a very cool. I think we ate up there too. There was some cool food up there too.
Yeah, and you can see over the whole. Yeah, looking out.
I liked it. Yeah, San Marino is beautiful. I didn't realize how beautiful it is, but it's like really nice countryside there. I could understand why John would want to live there.
It's very nice. It's very
good. It's like its own municipality, so it's really not Italy. It's its own little country. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, then you got all the other places when you're just driving.
Right.
So it's like but.
Well, it's like in the middle of Italy, so it's like you got it's like its own like place with its own laws, but then you can in 2 minutes you're out in Italy, the rest of Italy.
That's why it's weird too. Like I said, when you're in Rome, but then you go inside the Vatican, you're in a whole different Vatican. Now we're in a different area.
I would like to. The one place I haven't gone that I would really like to go see. I would like to go to Sicily and go back to where like my father's parents came from and just see it, because I think southern Italy, which is Sicily, it's like a separate island, essentially. It is a lot different than northern, which is where you were, Italy, from what I understand, at least. So I would be interesting to go.
Well, it's like I showed the photos, Jimmy, it's amazing. They got some of these like artwork on the wall in the Vatican where it's like, 50 foot high, almost like 30 foot across. And it's like maps that were painted back 1,500 years ago. And you're thinking the way these maps show the coast of Italy, like the boot, the hills, the rivers, I'm thinking, how the would they be able to map that? Because they didn't have satellites to look down and shit. I'm thinking it's so intricate. swear it was taken like a satellite photo.
And they had no airplanes, Lee. They couldn't like go in a helicopter and look at
It's like,
the way
how
it was shaped. You know,
how,
crazy.
how could someone just walk around the coastline and actually be able to map it? But every little hill, every little creek and river.
I know. It's crazy. It's insane.
UFOs, I think. Jimmy saw some UFOs. He's meant to come on and tell us about the UFOs he saw.
Oh, he is. I'll remind him. You know, the funny thing is, if you think about it, if you didn't have social media and you didn't have television and you didn't have radio, you'd have a lot of time on your hands every day. And you probably, you know, mapping the coastline of Italy probably would sound like a cool thing to do, you know?
You went back.
If it took 5 years, right?
If I just say you were living in New York and you decided to walk or hop on a horse and ride down to Florida, are you going to be able to map every hill, every creek, every river, how the coastline looks? Because you'd be riding down the coastline, but every time you go in and out 2 feet, you're going to have to went in 2 feet here.
I'm not a mapper, so I don't know, but I imagine there's a technique to it, Lee.
Does anyone know how they mapped 1,500 years ago?
I don't know. I'm assuming it was more than one person who did it, Lee. Don't you think?
Yeah, but still, they might argue and they might say, no.
If everyone did 5 miles, then, you know, if you had enough people, it wouldn't be that bad, right?
Yeah, but still, how are you going to draw it? How are you going to? Because if you walk 10 feet, if you walk 1 mile, are you going to be able to draw it exact?
I don't know. I'm not a mapper. We have to get one of those people to do that stuff for a living.
I've come to the Vatican. I've come to the fucking Colosseum, and now my head hurts thinking about all this shit they did back in the day.
Can you imagine having to like deal, you know, basically fend for your life in that Coliseum? That had to be crazy.
Think about them gladiators. Think how many fights you had and shit. It's like,
oh my god.
Talking about too when the ones where they were, you know, you have to fight to the death with the animals. I said, well, save like
the lions, yeah.
Sometimes you might win because by the time the lion got there, it might be a bit starved and shit, so it wasn't, you know, that ferocious. Might kill it. If you killed it, do they let you in? They go, no, they just send in another animal and keep sending them in.
Yeah, I don't think anyone won when they sent the lions in. Yeah,
but occasionally they said they did because the animals might have been that emancipated that you might get lucky and win.
Emaciated,
so, yeah. So you think, emancipated. I'll go back to the slave days.
Yeah. Now you're freeing slaves now. Yeah.
That's like what's his name, wasn't it? You know what? When fucking Lincoln got drunk and he woke up, he goes, "I freed the what?" I got to ask you before Jimmy comes on. I got to ask you what's going on with you and Bravo, Johnny Bravo now? Nothing. I'm just having fun, and he got very upset because he takes everything very personal. I invited him to come on, he didn't respond. I know. I even said to him, I said, look, he put this post up on his Instagram about you attacking him, right? Oh, he's saying, "Oh, you're mean and you're rude." I said, Johnny, I was only having to go at you because I had to go saying about his hair and you know, his pretty face and shit. He goes, "You don't know nothing about me. My dad never gave me money." I said, "That's my point." I said, "You're making shit videos about Sam and you know nothing about him. You're judging him by the video. So I did the same thing to you and you're getting all cut about it." You know what the funny thing is? So Bravo writes on his Instagram, Lee Priest decided to trash my followers and I for the video I made on Sam Sulek and the comments left by all of you in the comment section. He also made some very creative narratives about myself. I'm not sure he wants to respond because he's not going to like what I have to say back. And then the next post I found very interesting was by Dr. Sunny Andrews. You know, she's the wellness, doctor that or wellness competitor who's a doctor also. And she wrote, "This will be fun. Anyone have a DSM handy," which is the mental illness diagnostic book. So, and then what did you write? You write, "Like I said in your message to me, like I said, I'm doing to you what you're doing to Sam. I'm judging you by your videos and what you say and do like you're doing to him. That long, big message you wrote to me saying, I know nothing about you or your family or if your dad gives you money, etc." You're right. But then he went back again. He goes, "You don't want me to say stuff?" I said, "Johnny, what can you say that I haven't already said about myself?" I said, "If you know something that I've forgotten, please tell me because I've already talked about my sex life and all that I've done." And I said, "So if I've forgotten anything, please tell me because I want to know what I've done." Yeah.
What Johnny doesn't realize is the problem with you, Lee, is that you're an open book, so there's nothing he can say that's
That's
going
what
to
I told him. And he goes, and you didn't tag me. And I said, that's because I don't follow you, Johnny. I said, but you follow me. So I said, you know what? I said, I'll give you a follow. So towards the end there, he said that he could sleep tonight. So I said, well, that's good.
He's a good guy. You guys, what he doesn't understand is you're just breaking his balls, and he's taking it personally. And that's why the reason he doesn't come on the after hour shows because he can't take the comments by the trolls. I said, why are you even reading the comments? I said, you shouldn't even look at them. I don't even look at them.
I think I laughed too because he goes, one of his last comments to me was, keep my name out of your mouth.
Oh my God. He's still.
Hey,
look, Jimmy, you look very sick to me. Are you okay?
Jimmy and I.
His face looks very depleted.
I lost 10 pounds, Dave.
I can see it. I see it in your face, your neck too.
10 pounds I lost.
Yeah. You look like you're a 60-year-old man. Oh, you are a 60-year-old man. I forgot.
Hey, well, don't worry, Jimmy. I put on for you.
You used to look like a 40-year-old man. Now you look like a 60-year-old man.
That's
64
nice.
to be 64 to be exact.
Yeah, COVID is nasty stuff, huh?
Man, I wouldn't wish this on a dog.
I had it. I know. It sucks.
It's my third time getting it. I don't know how the hell. I don't even know how the hell I got it, man. It's.
You would think by now that you would have some resistance to it after having it twice already.
Well, that's the other thing. I don't want to get into too much of medical stuff, but I mean, really, people get shots to cover themselves for this, and I know people who still get it. And would you have it or you don't have it? And I had it 2 times. You think I'd have a immune system?
I think the strains are different. That's why I think they're slightly different. They're mutating, and so that's why people are. It's like how every year you can get the flu. And people are like, how do you get the flu? I had it last year. Well, because it's a different strain now. It kind of mutates itself a little bit every year.
I mean, it's possible. I mean,
it's like me too. I got one complaint about fucking Rome because it's like winter time here. Or it's getting cold. They don't let the air conditioning come on in these fucking rooms in the hotel.
Oh, you're sweating.
Hot. I feel like I had to open the window before, and Jimmy thought I was going to jump out because the window opened.
Jimmy, I heard Lee sent you all these great pictures. I got 0 pictures from him. None.
Oh man, I'll send you the ones he sent me. They're unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, you could just spend probably a week in just one room.
Have you been there to Italy?
I never been there, but I tell you, after seeing the stuff that Lee sent me, I'm like, I gotta go there at least once a while.
I was telling Jimmy that the lady who was taking us around, they actually did a study and they said if you were to go into every room at the Vatican and photograph every sculpture thing and that, it would take you 17 years.
Wow.
So we better get there soon, Jimmy, and start. It's gonna take.
It'll take you 70 years to photograph them. What do you think it took to draw those things and paint them? Oh my God.
I don't think I got 17 years left, Lee. I'll be honest with you.
I told him, I said, it's how you like to create the stereotypes for all the different races. The Italians definitely have some skill when it comes to painting and sculptures.
I was telling Lee before. I said, I'm not being racist or anything, but there's nothing like the Italian people. The food, the culture, the artwork. I mean, the stuff that went into what they did. They didn't even like Lee was saying to me earlier today. They didn't even know what kind of glue they used to put the mosaics down. They can't even figure it out.
Because you think back to Michelangelo doing that and the other artists, that was like back in the 15th century, right?
Right.
Got those paintings that are unbelievable and the mosaic artwork. And like the English people come to Australia 200 and something years ago, and all we had in Australia were these daft cunts tracing their hand in a cave. Not saying that the Aboriginal people weren't very artistic, but when it comes to,
well, the culture was not there in Australia. The people who live in Australia now are the people from Europe that came to Australia, But
well, they did have some figures, with a spear chasing a kangaroo, but it's not the same.
I mean, the American Indians weren't doing the Mona Lisa either. They were doing cave work too. So
teepees with smoke coming out of them. Yeah.
So really, Dave, think about it. What's the difference between the American Indian that was here 1,000, 1,500 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe more, right?
Right.
Compared to the Roman people, right? Like back in Italy. How does it how huh?
Inventions, Jimmy. They had more culture, more
Yeah,
technology.
but that's what I'm trying to understand. So you got the American Indian, that were here, and then you had people like the Egyptians, right?
Right.
And then like
Well,
a different country,
they
like how they were so much advanced, like
You know
But I-
why? Because I think that the American Indians were isolated, like the Aborigines were, and there was no contact with the people who brought the
but
culture, whether it be aliens or whoever else you want to say started all the culture.
but even before the Romans started traveling, or the Chinese had those dynasty and empires, I'm thinking, like all the Indians and the Australian people had were huts, and they had these like Roman empires
But
and
they were
dynasties.
isolated. They were isolated, Lee.
Well, so were they.
Everybody was
Oh,
isolated.
I understand
Dave.
that, but some people are smarter than other people. The Italians had more culture. They built it. They were bricklayers. They figured out bricks and
So
they
what
made
what
buildings. and shit.
Dave said, the Aborigines and the American Indians are daft. Is that what you're saying, Dave? Is that what
No, I'm saying that they lived. They had a
Yeah.
different.
I don't really
life.
buy what Dave's saying, because it's
Let me ask you this question:
I think Dave's
Why could like German scientists,
Yeah.
during World War II, before that, leading up to that, why were they developing the best electronics and airplanes and missiles or whatever bombs and stuff like that? Because they're technology guys. They're technicians. They sit down. They're inventors. And then we stole all the defecting German scientists, and then they work for us. That's where we got all the technology from. That's what they're good at.
Well, Vernon von Braun
Right,
was the
right,
head of the
right.
rocket.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, why were the Germans so good at that? I don't know, because because they're very, they're able to focus better than other people. Us, and same thing, certain tribes progressed and evolved faster on a technology level, and some just kind of
Did they
stayed
really?
with the old ways.
I really don't understand that.
What tribe made the iPhone, Dave? Please tell us how they evolved with technology.
The iPhone was developed by the American tribe.
They had smoke signals. That's what they had back in the day.
No, but what I'm saying, there's always innovation, depending on the culture. And I think the European culture was such that there was education, there was higher learning there. And so people started developing more culture and more technology because of that. Whereas American Indians, the Aborigines, because they were isolated, they stuck to more of the spiritual ways of their ancestors, and they didn't really worry about technology.
Imagine if Europeans never went to America or Australia, they'd probably be living in huts.
Possible they could still be in teepees, hunting the buffalo across the.
I don't know. That's a tough subject, really, to think about it. If how people developed in different areas of the earth.
But Jim, you ever see that? There's tribes in the Amazon rainforest still that are like they have no
thousands of
contact
years.
They have no contact with civilization, and they're still living the way they did 1,000 years ago.
Well, let's look at this. Before Rome was Rome, right?
Right.
It was probably rural, like like Scotland back in the day when Mel Gibson played that movie,
Braveheart.
Braveheart, right? So, I mean, look at the way they lived in Scotland back in his day. William Wallace.
Yeah.
Straw mud huts and farmlands and So how does one area like
Even
that? And then you go overseas to Italy and Europe, and people are much more advanced. Like the Romans had sewer systems, back in the day, and but like
reminds me of the Brian again. What did the Romans ever do for us? Well, they did give us the aqueducts. Well, apart from the aqueducts, the roads. They gave us the roads. Well,
the Romans were the first ones to have a city, and they realized that in a city you had to get rid of waste. If you couldn't get waste out of the city, that there was disease and famine and people died. So that's why they developed the sewer system.
Let's not forget about the Greeks too, because the Romans took a lot of archaeology, engineering in the buildings. I'm not going to say stole it, but they took a lot of the ideas.
They conquered them. Yeah.
Or maybe Gavin Newsom should go ask the Romans how to get rid of the waste out of the streets, because LA and San Francisco.
Well, he did. 2 weeks before the Chinese president came, he got rid of everything.
Oh,
Cleaned up the
cleaned it up.
streets. Yeah,
Cleaned it up, yeah.
he did. He did that in a matter of 2 weeks. It's pretty good.
Xi Jinping, Jing, whatever his name was.
Xing Peng Jing. Yeah, whatever he did.
That's racist, Ching Chong.
Look, people thought the Roman Empire would never die, right? They thought it was going to go on forever because they had the technology, they had the war machine.
You know what happened to the Roman Empire, Dave?
They got lazy, like we are.
They started letting foreign people more and more into the country.
like we're doing right now.
And what happened was eventually, as the foreigners was pouring, because they used to have a rule to be a Roman citizen, you'd have to serve in the Roman army for 2 years. All right, so they slowly did away with that, and then more and more foreigners were pouring into Rome, and little by little, the army started deserting and falling apart, and everything like exactly what's happening here.
Border. Sounds like southern border.
Because if you think about it, America is really the extension of the Roman Empire. We have
history repeats itself, Jimmy, as they always say.
We have the bald eagle, which the Rome had. That the eagle was their symbol, right? And like America, same thing. We have the
Nazis eagle too. I think, Jimmy. I think the Nazis had that.
Well, they did have that, but their swastika was their main thing. You know what I mean? But
the Germans did make the gas ovens too.
Yes, the Germans did use. They were brutal people. The Germans, actually, the Germania, the ancient German people, were the ones that actually kept pounding Rome. Eventually, they took Rome. They took
Germanics,
Rome down.
yeah. You know what the funny thing is? It seems like technology has always been the cultures that had the greatest technology or the greatest technological advances were the ones that dominated. It seemed like,
Leonardo.
They always applied it to war, the war machine, who had better bombs, who had better guns, who had better, sticks and stones, who had better swords, it goes all the way back.
Yeah. Look at when they came out with that big Gatling gun and people were like, oh shit, we got our muskets and now they got the Gatling gun.
Well, did you ever see that movie, Lee? I'm sure you did, with Tom Cruise when he was recruited to train the. He got caught up with the samurais. Remember they abducted him?
Oh yeah. The Last Samurai. Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Throwing them down with the guns.
Because they didn't. The samurai believed in the old way, and they weren't going to.
The Japanese army was sad that they were gunning down the samurais because
they were. And actually, in that movie, the military, the Japanese military, was actually afraid of the samurai. Like, they were charging them on horses, and they had the Gatling guns, and they were actually afraid of the samurais. That they were heading towards them.
If you had a Gatling gun and someone's coming towards you and he's not stopping, when you think this guy's fucking nuts, if he gets to me, I'm fucked.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what they were thinking. They were probably saying, they were fierce warriors, the samurai. That's what they were known for. So, of course, the Japanese people at that time were like scared.
That's another good
cultures that have had the most technology seem to dominate. I mean, let's face it. We won World War II, but we, at the end we showed who was, had the most power when we dropped those 2 atomic bombs. I mean, that's what that was. It was a show of power, basically.
That was Japan. You're talking about Japan, Dave.
No, I know, but I'm saying we exerted ourselves as the greatest power on the planet because we had the best weapons, and that I believe that we dropped those bombs to let everyone know that no one's going to F with us.
Actually, when America was fighting Germany, we had to get in touch with our coalitions because I don't think America could have took Germany on by themselves at that time.
No,
that was a they had to reach out to other countries. And
all those do-gooders that go on Instagram and go, "Oh, Israel's killing those innocent Palestinians." Don't forget how many Japanese innocent got killed. That move.
Yeah, when you're in war, when you're in war, there's civilian casualties, unfortunately.
That's the thing. I hate when people go, well, this is like war. There's never going to be a winner and a loser. It's going to be innocents killed. But by the way, Jimmy, you got to tell Dave about your UFO sightings.
Oh yeah. So
what's going on with that?
So I love it.
Could be COVID or
it's interesting that we have UFOs, Lee, but yet there's a firmament over the earth that you can't even get past. So I don't even know where would the UFOs come from, Jimmy?
Well, I don't believe in space. You know that. So
yeah, I know you know. That's
so
where
obviously, maybe beyond the ice wall. I don't know. Nobody knows what's beyond the ice wall. So, you know, when they say inner space and outer space,
Yeah.
what these elite are talking about is the inner space that's inside the ice ring, which is our world. And then if you can make it over the ice wall, there's other lands and other civilizations out there. Maybe they're advanced, who knows, you know. So
Land of the lost.
Do we have treaties with these guys, these other outer world?
we might. I mean, you know, we have a lockdown on the Antarctic. We know nobody's allowed there. Who knows what goes on back there? You know. So, but the other night I was, you know, I was very sick. You know.
How come we don't ever venture over the wall to, like, you know, fight the other cultures there?
Well, nobody's allowed there. There's a 50-country treaty that.
Well,
says
how come the government doesn't send like special ops troops there?
They did already. They did. What's Admiral Byrd? They did it back in the 50s. They did it already.
But they never. I don't think they traversed the wall, did they?
Yeah, Admiral Byrd said that there was more land beyond the southern ice.
Right, but did they ever send out search parties over there to, like,
no,
you know?
Because once we realized that there was more land beyond the ice wall, they cut it. They shut it down. They don't want nobody over there anymore.
Over the wall,
I wonder why, though. Like, you would think that they would want more land, you know, because
they want you to believe that the world is a ball spinning through space, and it just came out of nowhere. They don't want you to know that it's a giant pond with land in the middle, surrounded by an ice wall, and there's probably more land beyond the ice wall, and there's a firmament. There is some sort of a.
I know, but we're such explorers. Don't you think that they want to find out, like, what's beyond that wall?
Because then they're going to lose their narrative. That you know that.
Well, they don't have to tell us. They could just send. They could just send.
They do. They know. That's why we're not allowed there. That's why they're not telling.
So you think the government does know what's beyond the wall, then?
Absolutely. The elite. The elite. I don't know about the government themselves, but the
documentary, they go beyond the wall. There's this big gate, and when it opens up, there's an old guy. He says, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," and there's fucking dinosaurs. All this shit that's beyond the wall.
Who knows what's over there?
Yeah, might be.
Story. Jimmy was sick. He had a few drinks, I think, and he saw UFOs.
So where did you see these UFOs?
So what happened was they I don't know what they were, but so I was at the cemetery last night, and it was dark and cold and whatever, and the moon was, you know, coming at me, you know,
full moon yesterday, yeah,
beautiful and full, you know. So I was just hanging in the middle of the cemetery by my mom's grave, you know, and I'm watching the moon come towards me.
Wait, I got to stop your story for a second. You went to the cemetery. It was freezing cold out. Didn't you have COVID?
Yeah.
Well, it's not like he's got to get sick.
Usually people have COVID, stay in bed and rest.
I've been in bed for a fucking week, Dave. I can't lay down anymore. I had to get out last night. So I went and got a little Chinese food, and that's down by my mom's cemetery. So what I did was I ordered the Chinese food at the cemetery, you know, because I wanted to go see mom, you know, and then I usually trek back to the Chinese takeout, and then I go home. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
and he's thinking he's got COVID, so if he's going to die, he'll die at the cemetery. He'll be by his mother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking actually at the moment, COVID and Chinese, this could be an explanation to seeing the lights.
There you go. Yeah. So you're at the cemetery. What happens?
Oh.
So yeah. What the hell was I saying? Yeah. So I was yeah.
The moon.
Huh?
The moon was bright. You're looking at the moon.
Yes. I'm standing in the cemetery and I'm watching the moon come at me, right? And it's huge and it's beautiful and it's like yellowish and the white clouds drifting around. And the stars look brilliant because it was very dark, you know. So I look. Of course,
just to clarify, all that you were looking at in the sky is light projections, right? It's just like.
Yeah, there's some kind of light projections, absolutely.
Yeah, they're not. You really weren't looking at the moon. It was just a projection you were looking at.
The moon is some sort of projection. Yes, it's not a terraform. What do they call it? Something you can actually land on. Yeah, drive a dune buggy around and you know, play golf. And, you know, stick a flag in it. And, you know, all that stuff. Yeah. And stay on it for 3 days. You know, inside a lunar module when it's 275 degrees above zero in the day and 275 below zero at night.
On the moon to film him leaving, he's filming them.
Yeah, and you somehow you're sustaining electricity for 3 days with car batteries back in 1969. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So anyway, make a long story short, I'm looking at the sky. You know. And I all of a sudden I see, you know, I look up and I see this little starlight, you know, traveling from west to east, right? So I'm saying to myself, wow, what the hell is that? Most people say that's a satellite. I know it's not a satellite. There's no such thing as satellites. And I'm watching this thing, and then all of a sudden I see another one, and then behind it, like it was actually this like and then there was another one, and then another one, and like they were totally symmetrically separated, and they were traveling at the same speed, right? And then I was kept watching in the west, and there's like a shitload of them coming, all in a straight line, one after another, and I was like, what the hell is that? I never seen anything like that in my life.
Jimmy realized standing on the fucking freeway. It was cars.
Yeah, it looked like a freeway, So I'm watching these lights just come in the same speed, same distance, and they were coming as they were coming over to the east. They were like just fading out into nowhere, and I was watching it for like 4 minutes. I'm saying, "Where's my fucking camera?" So I left it in the car. So I ran to the car. I'm up in the bumper because I can't run, and I get to the car and they're gone. So I called my brother. I says, Anthony, I can't believe it. I can't believe what I witnessed. He says, yeah. No, they weren't in a triangle, Dave. They were in a straight line. So my brother says that he goes, you saw. I explained to him what I saw.
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes, you saw that? I says, yeah. He goes, it's all over Facebook. People are filming it and taking pictures of that same exact thing. I said, really? He said, yeah, you witnessed the phenomenon. I says, I did. I says, I never saw anything like it in my life. I actually went and got the Chinese food. I went back to the cemetery, got out of the car, and I was staring at the sky again. I was like hoping I was gonna, see it again. That's how excited I was about.
Lee, did you see the same lights in the sky over Rome?
But I was driving, and I did see the moon coming up over the Adriatic. And Jimmy and I were looking at the same beautiful moon, but then on after hours talking to you, so I missed the fucking UFOs.
Anyway, I thought it was pretty,
Yeah, interesting.
It just confirms the fact that we really don't know. A lot of people don't know where we live. It's the truth. We're lied to, we're duped, we're fooled. We got the wool over our eyes. Everything we see and hear, most of it is bullshit. It's a shame that we have to live like this in the dark. And try to. Let
me throw another theory. There's another theory out there, Jimmy, that says that we are living in a simulation.
Oh yes.
Well, I've heard Elon Musk say that.
Yeah, essentially, we're in a simulation, like a virtual reality game, and these lights you see flashing in the sky are sometimes glitches in the programming that we see.
Wait, Dave, we don't know. Listen, if you really think about it, look at the human body. Look who we are. Nobody really looks at ourselves, except for the people that gym with the selfies. That's all they're very shallow. I'm talking about in depth. Like really what the human body is. Now I got to tell you something. Hold on, Lee. Now I was taking this medicine called Paxlovid, right? Something new.
Yeah.
And I actually called you about it, Dave. But I'm going to tell you what happened. So when I went to this guy, the same guy that was going to call me an ambulance, all right? And when I went to the medical center, right? And I told him, I said, you're not calling no ambulance. I said, look at me. You're not calling no ambulance for me. I said, because if you do, I'm walking right out of this building. I said, you could call the ambulance, but I'm not getting any ambulance, right? So this guy, anyway, so he cut me loose with a lead. I told you that story.
Yeah.
So I go back to him with the cold, And I go in there. I said, "Oh, this is the same son of a bitch is here." So I walk in and he goes, "What's the problem now?" I says, "Why does everybody say that to me?" I really don't understand. I'm getting
people think you're a hypochondriac.
I'm getting offended. Am I really in my 60s, man? Am I acting like one of these old people? Like now when I go to the doctor, he goes, "Now what?" And even you said that when I texted you the picture that I was at the medical center. You said, "Now what?"
The reason I said that was because I knew you had COVID already. So I'm thinking, what is he going back to the doctor for? If he knows he's got COVID and he's got to run its course, I couldn't figure out what you were doing there.
Well, haven't affected his heart, Dave, and he's going back to get it checked.
His heart wasn't bothering him. He probably had a sniffle. What was wrong? You were in the cemetery for fucking 5 hours in the freezing cold. Of course you felt worse.
Watching UFOs.
Right.
So I go back because I took the Paxlovid for
Which,
now.
by the way, I told him to stop taking, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you did. What I should have called you before I started taking it, but
Why
like
you
an
saw
idiot.
light,
I
this why you
was
saw the lights in the sky because you took this Paxlovid.
Yeah, Lee's probably right. That's exactly probably what happened.
so power of suggestion. Like I am 64. I'm not. I don't have medical issues though. I'm not a pretty healthy guy. I could be healthier if I stopped hot dogs and all that other shit that I eat. But make a long story short, the guy, the same guy with the white hair with the cane, the doctor. He was like when I first, huh?
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, he looked like Colonel Sanders, but the guy was a real guy. I don't think he liked me. I think my presence, some sort of my manhood intimidated him because he looked like a half a fag to me. Anyway, so make a long story short. Make a long story short, when I went in there,
this fucking hotel room is so hot.
This is when I had I was very sick. I was very sick, and he's listening to my lungs and I'm breathing and all that, And he's like, "All right." He goes, "Let's." The nurse took the test, and then he came in the room, after, and he's like, he goes, "Well, you got COVID." I says, "Okay." I says, "Now what?" He says, "Well," he goes, "You're going to be 64 on Monday." I said, "Yes, I am." You're at high risk, I said, I am. I said, "Why am I at high risk?" "Well, you're 64. I said, "Yeah." So I said, "Do I look like an average 64-year-old?" I said, am I? Did I come in here all fucked up? I mean, look at me, man. I says, "I'm 64, yeah, but I'm not your average 64." I said, I'm pretty healthy here. I said, "So what do you mean by that?" He goes, I want to know. He goes, "Well, you're at risk." I said, "I want to know what that means. What does that mean? I'm at risk." He said, "Well, hospitalization, death." I says, "Really? That's what you're telling me right now, right?" He says, "Well, there is a drug you could take, to avoid that." I says, "Really? What's that?" He says, "Paxlovid. It's an antiviral medicine. It'll keep you out of the hospital." He goes, "You want it?" I says, "Give it to me. I'll try it." So I took it. This is the same bastard, right? So I went there again yesterday. If the guy was there, I was gonna walk right out. I wasn't even gonna. I'm getting to a point in my age now. I'm probably getting like your dad, Dave. If I don't like it, I'm not comfortable. Right. I'm out. I'm not even gonna waste my time.
I know, Lee, that the Paxlovid has so many side effects that he's gonna get every one of them, and he's gonna keep going back to the hospital because he thinks he's dying, but it's really the Paxlovid side effects.
So let me tell you what happened. Let me finish the story. So now I'm on this Paxlovid shit, right? 3 pills in the morning, 3 pills at night, right? And this stuff is not. This ain't no. This fucking shit here, okay, right here, all right. It's 150 milligram per pill. You got to take 3 of them. 3 of them in the morning.
Like you know what that means, Steven.
It's a lot of milligrams for 100. So it's 3. It's 3 times 150 is what? 450. 450 in the morning, 450 at night. Minga, what do I look like? A fucking junkie? That's a lot of fucking milligrams, man.
Well, you don't even have anything to compare it to. You can't compare it to taking vitamin C. It's a different drug,
And they give it to you in these nice little packets. You got the morning and you got the evening. Real nice the way they do it, right? So, and there's 3 pills on each one. So now I'm taking it and I'm getting this metal like taste in my throat, and I got no taste and no smell. And I had this metal going on in my throat. I'm like, wow, this is disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, so now I have a dream the other night, right? I'm laying in bed. I'm getting very psychic lately, my old age, Dave. I'm laying in bed, and I'm having this dream. I'm having a dream that I'm turning into the lumpy man. Like I had lumps on my cheeks, my nose grew. My chin and lumps on my chin. I'm like, I had this dream, right? And I'm dreaming because it's this shit, right? So now I get up and I'm saying to myself, what a fucking dream that was. I had lumps all over my fucking head. Bro, I go in the bathroom. I should have took a picture. The middle of my forehead was all lumps and red in between my eyes, right? And I said to myself, I'm like, I said, son of a bitch, this, and I'm feeling it. It's fucking horrible. They're all lumped out. I look like somebody beat me with a fucking ball peen hammer. So now I'm like, this is, I said, this guy with the cane, I'm going to kill this bastard, right? I go fucking next day, I get up, I go down in the medical center over there.
You went back? Oh,
I went back because I wanted to tell the guy. I was enraged, okay? Because I didn't want to take the Paxlovid to begin with. So I went back there. Thank God there was another man there, nice guy. And I told him what happened. And he's like, did you stop taking? I go, yeah. He goes, okay, that's good. Yeah. He goes, don't take it no more. I said, no, I'm not going to take it no more.
If you heard the side effects on this thing, and let me read you the side effects of this thing.
He said to Jimmy, I'm glad you stopped taking it.
He said, I'm glad you, he goes, did you stop? I said, yeah. He goes, I'm glad you stopped.
The most common side effect is change in taste and loss of taste. That's the first one.
What is it?
Loss of taste. Most common.
I had lost the taste already with the COVID.
Yeah. Blurred vision, dizziness, headache,
I had that.
nervousness, pounding in the ears, slow or fast heartbeat. Right then and there, any one of those would make Jimmy or go to the VA instantaneously because he thinks he's having a heart attack, right?
About seeing like guy.
Then there's chest tightness, which would be Jimmy would think that's it. I'm done. Dark urine, diarrhea.
Oh, I had that too.
Difficulty swallowing.
Diarrhea. Let me tell you something. When I sat in a bowl, it sounded like someone turned the bathtub on. I mean, that's what was coming out of my butt. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I every time I went to the bathroom, it was just like a faucet coming out of there. I'm like, this is disgusting like this. So then I was trying to Google COVID effects. Maybe COVID gives you
vomiting
diarrhea.
of blood, yellow eyes and skin. I think
my eyes were bloodshot red.
I was just going to say, you're looking a little Chinese today, I was going to say. And,
Oh, is that because of the you've been racist again, Dave?
I'm being racist.
I think Jimmy had too much MSG tablets.
Jimmy got more side effects from the Paxlovid than he did from the actual.
I was just better off with the COVID, man. This stuff is here, man. Just throw it in the garbage. Get rid of it.
Go get diet tonic water, chelated zinc. Did you do it?
I did. I went to King Cullen. I got that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I got it in the fridge. Actually.
And melatonin? You took the melatonin at night?
Melatonin, I got to get tonight. I got to go to vitamin shop.
Oh, my God.
Hey, but Jimmy, tell him about.
You had time to go to the cemetery for 16 hours. You couldn't pick up a bottle of melatonin.
I got to go to vitamin shop and get that. Yeah.
But I got Jimmy a nice cross from the Vatican, so he's going to be healthy when I send in this beautiful cross that I got him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, does that curse remove? Does that cross remove curses? He has to be. He needs to be exercise.
No, I'm telling you, it's only this shit happens to me, man. Because I don't. When I called you and I said, Dave, I feel fucked up. I'm thinking this Paxlovid shit. You were like, stop it right there.
I knew you were going to get every side effect. I knew it.
He's like, why didn't you call me first? You know better. You should have called me. I said, I know I should. I don't know why. This guy had me in a panic. The guy with the ambulance. Now he had me in a hospital dead. Take the Paxlovid.
Yeah, I don't know why he had you. I'm shocked that you didn't say to him when you went back and you saw him. You wanted to send me to the hospital yesterday. All I had was COVID. Why didn't you test me for COVID?
Well, no, when I went back the third time, he wasn't there. It was this other gentleman.
No, when you went back the second time, right?
Yeah, right.
You told him you had COVID, right? Because you tested yourself at home.
I tested myself at home, but when I went there, I wasn't sure because the test kits are hit and miss. So
I understand that, but he never even tested you the day before. He wanted to send you. He wanted to call an ambulance for you.
Yeah,
when you didn't even need one. You just needed a COVID test. That's it.
Yeah, he wanted to call me, and he wanted to call.
He was incompetent. You should have said. I would have told him off.
Let me tell you something. When I went back there the third time, I was going to let this guy have it with both barrels, man. But thank God the other guy was there. So.
I got it exactly. You would have been arrested probably.
Yeah, I was flipping.
I need to ask a question with the Paxil, whatever, and the MSG. Were you drinking any alcohol with this, Jimmy?
No, I wasn't. Listen, with the COVID and all that, I didn't want to drink any alcohol there. I heard that if you drink alcohol,
drink it, but he did have a little bit.
Maybe a little wine. But they say that.
I got COVID.
My father, I would be like, Dad. What did the doctor give you when you went there today? Oh, he's got me on so and so. I said, I don't think you're supposed to be drinking alcohol with this. Yeah, he told me the same thing. these things, the M&Ms. He'd be on like OxyContin. He'd be drinking like guzzling wine down, and he didn't care. He said they work better when you take the wine.
I don't really look at I don't look at wine as alcohol. You know, it's not really alcohol.
My father didn't either. Yeah.
I thought the same thing one night when I did a bit of cocaine and MDMA. What's the worst that could happen?
When my father had his heart attack, Jimmy, and he went to the hospital, and you know they
What, he did have a heart attack, your father?
He had, it wasn't like a major heart attack, but he had chest pain. That's when he got his triple bypass.
It's not a major one.
Oh, like what I get.
Yeah, but he really had blockages. So he goes to the hospital, and they're interviewing him, and they're like, "Do you drink?" He's like, yeah, I have a social drink. They're like, well, how much? He goes, a bottle of wine. They're like, a week? He's like, no, every day. They're like, oh. So they're writing down on his chart that he's an alcoholic.
Oh.
So when I got there, my father was like like an insane human. Like he was insane. They had him strapped down to the bed. He was like, oh, he was talking like that. I said, what happened to my father? We think he's got the DTs. He's an alcohol withdrawal. I'm like, alcohol withdrawal from what? They said, well, you know, your father drinks a bottle of wine a day. That, you know, he's gonna detox from that. I said, my father's he'll stop drinking for a week. I've never seen him have a single side effect. I'm like, what do you got him on medication? Oh, we got him on Valium. We got him on OxyContin. We got him on. I said, you've over medicated him. I said, it happens to him all the time. They had him so over medicated that he was delirious. And they're like, we can't operate on him. He's had a psychotic break. I said, cut all. I don't care what he complains about. Don't give him any fucking medication. No painkillers. No anxiety. Within 24 hours, he was completely coherent again.
Well, I'm gonna complain about. I can see the temperature on the thing on the wall. It's 28 degrees Celsius in the fucking room. That's what I'm gonna complain about.
Yeah, you're turning very red. You're getting like sweaty too. Yeah,
I know. I'm sweating in here. It's like because you walk into the hotel door in the hallway and it's that fucking hot. They got the heat on.
Lee, tell him you want a fucking fan, man.
Yeah, you should have asked for a fan. Yeah,
move the fucking air around that room there, bro.
I got a bottle here. I've been drinking my water.
You ever notice that your European hotels are so small? They're tiny. It's like you can't even like. When I was a bodybuilder and I would go, you can't even make a turn in the room. You have to walk sideways sometimes to get to where you go.
The elevators are tiny, but I mean, like when you walk through the door, when you come off the street into the hotel, it's like it's like sitting in a car with the car heater on. That's what this room feels like right now.
You should open the window and get some air in there.
Yeah.
I did put on 12 kilos. I think I'm going to lose it tonight.
You know, I got to say, Dave, when I went to Amsterdam with Keith Angeline and everybody, we went to the hotel. I couldn't even get myself and the suitcase into the elevator.
I know. I was in Amsterdam too. They're tiny rooms.
Unbelievable, man. I couldn't even get up the stairs. The stairs was like windy, and I was dragging. The suitcase was hitting all the walls. I couldn't even get up the stairs. I mean, it was. The place is claustrophobic as hell.
Amsterdam seems like you're in a movie set, right? Doesn't it look like like you're walking? You think you're in like a Hollywood movie set.
It does. Everything's narrow and tall and back. It was a unique place, but I mean,
I liked it, but it was definitely weird looking. Yeah, it was a weird city.
I was telling Jimmy too, it was funny because I'm in the Vatican and at the Colosseum, and like the armed guards and that they spin around, they stare at me. I'm like, oh fuck, they're looking at me. I got tattoos, and they're like. Elderly priest. Can we get photos?
They knew you? Oh my God, that's funny.
So now the guards are taking photos with me. So now the other tourists are thinking, who's this guy? And at the Colosseum too, because people are looking at me at the Colosseum. Thinking, who's this freak? Thinks he's a gladiator with tattoos. And now people are
my name is Maximus.
So they think he must be someone special. So people are coming to take photos with me. They're like, who the fuck's this guy?
They just wanted a picture with you.
Tourists will take pictures with anyone they think is a celebrity. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
But I was telling Jimmy, it was like a joke last night though. I go to the restaurant downstairs, even for breakfast this morning, and I think I told you at the table beside me there's 5 priests all dressed in priest outfits.
Yeah, you sent me the picture for that. You should have worn your priest outfit. You would have fit right in.
That's like,
I had the photo on the phone of me dressed as the cardinal and the Pope cut out behind me. I should have showed them.
you know, you're right about Europe, Dave, because even when I was in Japan, I did those couple of seminars there on the Marine base.
Right.
They allowed all the Japanese people to come on the base because it was the 50th-year anniversary that the Americans were there. And when I did the seminar, as I was leaving the auditorium,
What are you doing, mate? All right.
Taking pictures. They're taking pictures.
Oh.
yeah, they would follow me like they would. The whole auditorium followed me out of the place,
Yeah,
right?
they love
And I'm walking
pictures.
down the street, and I turn around, and the grandmother's there with the grandfather and the kid, you know, and they all stop and they smile, you know, and they're looking at me, and I'm like,
You're
you
like
know,
Godzilla. That's why in that place they think you're Godzilla.
yeah. I was doing Skull Crusher with 500 on the stage.
Yeah, with the military base, and they were fucking Japanese, and they're thinking you're the one that dropped the bomb on our family.
I told that story on After Hours. I went to Hiroshima.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy place, man. Crazy place.
Is that where the shadows are into the ground where the bomb went?
No, there's a shadow on a building. They call it the Atomic Dome building. It was a school or something.
Right.
It's like roundish on the top, and there's an image of kind of a person on the side of the building. Supposedly, when the bomb ignited, which didn't really hit the ground, it ignited like 500 feet above, could get the wider spread, you know, the maximum kill, I guess. And this guy just fried, and as he was running, I guess the heat, whatever hit his body, and then it kind of hit the wall, and you could see his image on the wall.
Crazy.
Like, oh fuck.
The guy vaporized. Yeah, kind of like in Pompeii, you know, when all the people were still frozen with their children.
Yeah, that's crazy. From the ash, they got stuck in the ash, right?
They got stuck in the ash. Yeah.
I've seen those ones, yeah, because that shows the bodies where they're curled together, and they're like the ash bodies are still there. It's like if you've seen Everest. Have you seen the actual pictures of Everest where you can climb Everest, and there's the bodies are on the way up? That'd be like really uplifting, wouldn't it, as you're climbing Everest?
Are their bodies still there? Like,
yeah.
They never removed them?
No, Google it. Yeah, the bodies are still there.
That's crazy.
That'd be uplifting, wouldn't it, as you're climbing up and you see dead.
It's like an Indiana Jones movie or something like that.
It'd be like going to squad, and there's Zach Mulbrick with his quads torn beside you. You'd be like, "How you going, mate? Let me do some squat."
It's encouraging. It's encouraging. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Real
It's like, kind of like when you go to the doctor and he tells you you're going to die and go to the hospital. Yeah, same thing.
I'm glad, Jimmy, you're feeling better. You sound better, and Lee,
I'm a little better.
Try to get a little sleep because I know you got a big day
Jimmy's
tomorrow.
getting better. I think I've got COVID talking to him.
Lee caught it from Jimmy over the internet.
And the worst thing is now I've got to sit on a plane for I'll be home in 2 days. I'm going to be on a hot plane. They turn the heat on the fucking plane too. Give the old people blankets. Why the hell do I have to sweat?
I used to say that all the time, Lee. I would complain that like people are cold. I'm like, give them a blanket. What do you? I can't take any more clothes off. I have no shoes on. I have
God, I'll open the fucking door. I swear to God, if you don't give
So I'm going to go Friday, Dave, to get retested because I am feeling slightly better, but I still have a really bad cough at night.
I would get a home testing kit. They're pretty accurate. You don't need to go back to the urgent care again. They're going to think that there's something wrong with you.
Pick when you go, Jimmy.
No, because I need a legit test to go back to work.
Oh, you need a clearance letter. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I can't do a home one. I got to go back over there. Hopefully that guy's not there, and I'll take another swab on Friday. You know.
You get a prostate way there too, Jimmy.
What's that?
Get your prostate done while you're there as well.
Not by that guy. That guy probably would turn around. I would probably turn around. He'd probably use his cane. Probably shove his cane in there.
You mean the half a bag one? The half a bag.
All right, you did so well the whole show. Can we end on a good note here?
Let's talk about.
I love you guys, Jimmy. I'm so happy you're feeling better. Lee, have a really safe flight back, and we'll talk to you next week.
I'm just going to go and lay in this hot bed for a while.
He's going to get up now, Jimmy. He's going to walk around outside now and look.
I told him to open up the window. Call the front desk. Tell him you want a little fan up there.
The window's sort of open. Look.
Yeah, but you're not getting any air with the drapery.
Yeah, you got to open those blinds.
Way up, there's a building over there, and the Romans will see me laying here. They'll be like, who's that tattooed guy laying in the bed masturbating? See him.
Why? Hold on, I have a question. Why are you so hairy? You're very hairy, I noticed.
Why would I shave? I don't compete anymore.
Yeah, but you're so vain about everything else. I'm shocked that you don't shave.
I wear shirts. I don't wear a tank top, Dave. I'm covered up.
Yeah, look at your hair is perfectly groomed all the time, and you're
not really. I'm just letting myself go. Since I've been to the Vatican, I'm just letting myself go.
I'm shocked that you're so hairy, your body.
Oh, well.
You remind me a little bit that haircut. You remind me a little bit of those things
Troll.
you put. No, not troll. You put the water on the gremlin, right? You put the water on.
Oh yeah.
At the midnight.
Hold on, here we go. Look,
Don't feed him after midnight. Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, look. Yeah.
Go call the desk and tell him you want a fan, Lee. Please.
We are out of time. Please, Lee, go get a fan. Jimmy, stay away from the.
I had plenty today. Look at my hair. Look at this.
He kind of looks like he's in a psychiatric ward, Dave, a little bit.
Yeah. It's like we're giving him therapy right now. Yeah.
We dropped in on him.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. The kid has a good head of hair still. He's still.
He really does. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous.
Look at it. Here we go. Look.
It's a little messy now, but he's still got a good head of hair. That's for sure.
It's unbelievable, man, how he's got his hair at that age.
And look how perfect, Jimmy. He dyes his hair himself.
Yeah. No, he does a good job.
I know. That's why I'm shocked that he doesn't shave himself.
And for the people on Johnny Bravo's thing that go, don't worry about him, Johnny Bravo. He's got face tattoos and wear eyeliner. That's right. I do my own eyeliner too, because I'm the other half a fag of Jimmy's doctor.
All right, love you guys. We're wrapping up now, guys. Until next week, I'm Dave Palumbo with Lee Priest and Jimmy the Bull. Have a great weekend.